Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be covering both episodes of 90 Day UK that has aired, and then I haven't covered yet. Just want to say thank you for patience. Apologize for being late on some of these. This past week has been quite interesting with getting over a cold, having unexplained headaches, and also having to do a procedure at the hospital to still investigate what's been going on with pain I'm still experiencing post-surgery. So it's been a week, but yeah, I'm here. We're going to try and get some of these done. I'm going to try to get at least 2 to 3 episodes out to you. I'm actually recording this on a Saturday, so the plan is to try to get as much out to you throughout the weekend into next week, as much as possible. So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, I'm going to try and do that for you, get these done. So let's just do some hot goss. So for the older episodes, I mean, they're technically all older episodes at this point by the time I get to all of them. So we're going to try to just do 1 or 2 pieces of hot goss. So we'll kind of do it that way. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So again, we're doing both episodes of 90 Day UK. So that's episodes 8 and 9 in this episode. But before we get into that, let's do some hot goss. This is a little old, not too bad. It's only July 13th. So, July 4th, Independence Day, we had one of our newcomers celebrating July 4th, and that was Michael and Angela. So after parting ways with Angela, Michael now has kind of a new family to enjoy the 4th of July celebrations with. And Michael shared a peek into his day on Instagram stories, showing his followers the warm-up and post-game chill session with his soccer team, which I will kind of, I mean, it's not really anything to really post, but yeah, if you want to, well, his stories will be gone now, right? So I'll post this on our socials, but after the game, Michael had an outdoor lunch with his friends who have become like a second family to him. Despite his split from his wife, Michael sent his best wishes to all of his followers for a happy 4th of July, but it can't be that easy, right? Because Angela has slammed Michael for his 4th of July celebrations 8 months after his arrival in America. She said, quote, "Hi, queens and kings. I just want to ask a question. How can a Nigerian, this is fucking gross, and a bunch of them celebrate my country's July 4th on my visa?" Angela, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you royally. Because here's what I'm going to say to you. You were repping about America all of this time. And you are the reason he left. I don't give a shit about anything else. Maybe he was using you. Maybe he was. I don't know, but guess what? You fucking deserved it. And you don't get to treat people the way you treat people. And not only that, you don't get to treat African men the way you do, because that shows a level of, slavery. And then you don't get to then say, why does he get to enjoy July 4th on quote unquote my visa? No, honey, it was both of yours visa. I don't give a shit what you paid and what he didn't. I don't give a shit. It's both of your visas. Okay. And you don't get to dictate now what he gets to do. You didn't do a K1, you did a spousal. He automatically gets to stay in this country no matter what the fuck happens. That's the difference between a spousal and a K1. So I don't give a shit. You don't know who these other people are and how they're here. Because now that just shows this other. You're showing this. You're othering them. Okay? Michael, whatever. Obviously, he's only been in the country for 8 months, but you don't know how these other people live their life and how they got here and all this. You're othering. You are a racist. Just because you were fucking an African man does not mean you're not a racist. So here's what I'm going to say. If you want to use those terms, this is my country, my visa. Get yourself out of my country. Don't come back here. We don't want you here. You're always here. Why? We don't need you in Hamilton. We don't need you in Toronto. We don't need you anywhere in this country. So why are you here in my country? If you want to use the same energy. You don't get to exert yourself like that. How about you just shut up? Live your life while he's living his. Maybe don't treat people the way you do. And this is why I don't talk about them on my podcast usually. But I did find this quite interesting and just shows the level of depravity that this woman has. So, yeah, that was her thought process on this. So Angela apparently appeared to be sitting in an airport, actually filmed a brief clip. Yeah, probably going back to her country from my country because she was just here a few weeks ago. Her video was seemingly shared in response to several videos that Michael, as we just talked about, shared on his Instagram stories, showing how he spent his first U.S. Independence Day. One clip panned over several people sitting in lawn chairs at a barbecue, while another video showed food being prepared on the grill. Michael also reposted a few Happy Independence Day and Happy 4th of July stories from fans. Like, he's allowed to do so. He's allowed to enjoy himself. He's allowed to. Why would he ever go back to you? He should never go back to you. But don't worry, guys. She's not done. She still has more to say. She says, we're in the USA. You're in my fucking USA. Fuck you. I hate this shit. You can be a patriot. I don't care. But when you're a patriot to the point of being fucking racist, I'm done with you. Like, I'm sorry. And I really do hope that the franchise is done with her after this as well. But, yeah. So apparently, as she was directing that at him during the June 30th episode. Oh, sorry. No, this was something else. Although this was the actual episode. So yeah, I'm not reading that. I didn't mean to. But anyway, so that's basically it. So that was technically one big piece. I'll do one more and then we'll go on to the episode. So the Reddit thread was a Reddit thread was apparently filled with Below Deck Med fans criticizing the way Chef Jono prepared the steaks, which, y'all, I think I actually did forget to talk about the steaks. Was that in this episode or last episode? I can't remember which episode this was in. I may have talked about the steaks. I just don't remember which episode this was in. But it was fucking gross. There's something wrong with those steaks. They were gray as fuck. Anyway. Yeah, so he's being criticized for how they were prepared. Quote, saying, didn't look very appetizing, according to someone by the name of RobB362 on Reddit, who added that the meat looked like it might have been boiled. I hope the hell not. Valley Squirrels is a vegetarian, but couldn't believe that the steaks had an odd appearance. Me too. Meanwhile, Delicious Minute 1966 claimed original Below Deck Captain Lee would have fired Jono for his lack of skills in the kitchen. Some fans wondered if the chef sneakily Googled recipes on the fly because he isn't quite sure how to properly cook the food. I do believe he probably does that. I really do. So it's kind of just interesting to see everyone else's takes on things. But it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, people said that they said that the steak tasted good, but except for the primary. But I just don't see how that looked at all appetizing. Because to me, it didn't look at all appetizing. But what do I know? Anyway, that's it for Hot Goss. We'll do more in other episodes. But let's move on to the reason that we are here. 90 Day UK, Season 3, Episode 8, Keep Your Wits About You. And let's start with the ones that we have been waiting for. I love you, chicken. We got Jose, Jesus Christ, Jose and Louise, and Raul, baby chicken. He apparently has a job, y'all. He has a job doing music. So he's still doing his music. He has a home studio. So he's doing this song, which we're going to see more from in the next episode. He needs to get those views, the likes, the listens. And Raul's going to be a good baby rapper, he says. Louise is not really about that, though. But in the next scene, it's their anniversary. It's been a year. He has been kind of, married to his chicken for 1 year. So he's going to be making some food for her. He has a little surprise for his chicken. So, yeah, he's cooking. That he's going to cook. I'm not quite sure what he was cooking, but he says he made a card for her where he drew a chicken on the card. And when she gets there and she sees the card, she's like, that's not a chicken, but okay. He's like, no, it is a chicken. He's like, no, it's not a chicken. She's like, look at the chicken. Look at it really good. It doesn't look like a chicken. And she puts it sideways and gives us exactly what it looks like, which I didn't need her to do. It's a friggin' penis. It looks like a penis. I've seen a penis here or two. It definitely looks like a penis. Anyway, so they're potentially thinking about doing a wedding party for her family since they couldn't be at the wedding. And who walks in just in time to catch this? Jesse, who remembers Louise's son. And Louise tells Jesse the plans that maybe we can do this wedding party. And Jesse, the voice of reason, is like, that would be a lot of money. I mean, I think, and while he's trying to say, I think we should maybe wait on doing that, save up some money, we have Raul throwing up. He just throws up in the middle of it. And he's like, Louise is like, I don't think he likes what you're going to say. And then he tries to say something, I think we should settle in. And Raul starts pooping. And he's like, for God's sake. Anyway. Jesse says that being a father did not come naturally to Jose. I'm not surprised by that. And he said, and this music thing, it shouldn't be the main source of money coming in. He should be, working an actual job. Music should be a hobby. So then we see Jose go to the local chicken shop, which I feel like this is the same chicken shop he went to get Louise food when she was pregnant. Remember that episode? He's going to go get some work experience. And while he's like mopping, dealing with the rice and stuff like that, he's like, I love you, chicken. And I did notice, why is he wearing a fur coat in a chicken shop? Like, why? I mean, it's fake fur, but still. But then he's like, I love you, rice, while he's packing up the rice. And he's dancing instead of actually mopping. And the owner is not impressed. He's just shaking his head like, what the fuck did I get myself into? And yeah, but then we got one more thing that we're going to try here. One more thing that maybe will suit Jose a lot better. We're going to stick him in a chicken suit and make him go outside and advertise to get people into the shop, So he's just out there being like, I love you, chicken. And you know what? That is a great way to try and get some people into the store. This is a local chicken shop that sells chicken. So we do have someone out there yelling, I love you, chicken, not realizing that technically chicken is an actual person, but this works out. I think it's a great idea to put him out there in a chicken suit and make him sing I love you, chicken, and have people go into the store to go buy fucking chicken. I think it's great. Anyway, that's that for our favorite Louise and Jose. We'll see them again in the next episode. But let's move on to Jamie and Kathleen. So he's packing. He's going to be going back to see Kathleen that I met to Cyprus. And guess what, y'all? It doesn't fucking stop there. His fucking parents are also going to Cyprus. What the fuck? And mom, my God, she says, oh no, he says to mom, she says, I'm not romantic. And his mom, in true fucking enabling fashion, is like, oh, I'm sure you are so romantic. She should love you just the way you are. No, mom, no. Anyway, so he's in Cyprus now, and she's still at work, so he's going to be, going to the hotel. He has some plans. He's going to spruce up the hotel. He's got rose petals. He's got a teddy bear. And he's like, I get my ideas from romantic films. That's the way to go, right? Kathleen is going to love this. Oh, I messed up. The lettering. I only have this much. He's trying to do J plus K or whatever. But I guess he figures it out. I don't know. But then we get a knock on the door, and he goes to the door. He's like, don't look, close your eyes. I want to surprise you. But, she comes in, she sees it. She says she's happy. It's a lovely surprise. And do you like the teddy bear? And he's like, what will you name it? And she says, Big Adonis. And he's laughing. Okay? He's laughing in true Jamie fashion because his laugh is really fucking annoying. But he's laughing. And the reason he's laughing is because she's naming it this Big Adonis for personal reasons. And I hate to say this, but I think those personal reasons are she calls his dick Big Adonis, and I can't picture his dick being anything big. I just can't picture it at all. But anyways, that's that. Let's move on to the next thing. So he's just standing in the middle of the street with these flowers, but he's meeting up with her. They go to a restaurant. It's all great. And he pulls a chair over her because she's already dead. But when she sits down and he tries to push her in, he's like struggling. And then he does push her in, but he pushes her in too far. He's like, okay, enough. Stop. And she pushed her in too far. But anyways, he then decides he needs to order. We don't know exactly what it is that he's ordering at first, but we do figure it's wine. He's trying to order wine. And he's trying to order a bottle of wine. And he literally says to the waiter, I don't know how to pronounce this. And you're thinking, oh, it's like some fancy thing that maybe he just doesn't see every day. He doesn't know how to say it. Y'all, he can't say Pinot Grigio. He's literally saying he can't pronounce it Pinot Grigio. Or Pinot Grigio. Are you kidding? I would be fucking embarrassed. I mean, I didn't properly pronounce Grigio, but it's Grigio. But still, I got the Pinot. And he couldn't say Pinot. He said Pinot, I think is what he said. Pinot. Grigio. I don't even know what the hell he said with the Grigio, but he couldn't even say Pinot. It's not that hard. I mean, I don't necessarily drink Pinot Grigio, but I know how to fucking say it. I thought it was like something that was just outlandish. Go and figure. When Kathleen says that, she's like, it's Pinot Grigio. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, I can't say, oh my God. Okay. Lord of mercy. Anyway. So, yeah, he can't say that. Anyways. So there's apparently going to be a party in Cyprus that is for his parents, I believe, or just for his dad, I'm not sure. And there's going to be family coming to Cyprus, or family in Cyprus. I'm very confused by the reason why there's a party in Cyprus. if family is traveling to Cyprus. This is really weird. But anyways, maybe they actually have family in Cyprus. I don't know. But they're going to be going to Cyprus, having this party for for his parents, whatever. Family's going to be there. Kathleen, she's nervous but excited to finally meet his family. So it's going to be great, right? Hold up. Because he has something he has to tell her that he hasn't told her yet. And that is that his ex-girlfriend, Tess, who is the ex-girlfriend for whom Kathleen believes he cheated on her with, which technically did not cheat. We've established this, but she was the one that he went to after they went on a break. And that would still be really awkward, so I wouldn't want to go either, but apparently this person is going to be there because she's friends with his parents. And his parents invited her. He did not know that they invited her until now. And now he has to tell her that she was invited. Here's my thing. And this is kind of going ahead a little bit to the next episode, but whatever. The family knows, or his mom in particular, knows what the fuck she's doing. She knows what the fuck she's doing. She's literally trying to say, I prefer this person for you, and I'd rather you be with her. Kathleen has every right to be upset in this moment. Not only upset with, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but mom knows what she's doing here. And this is fucked up when you know his current girlfriend is going to be there. What the fuck are you thinking? Anyway, Kathleen says, well, I'm not going. If she's going to be there, I'm not going. I can't be there beside the person in her mind. She believes this is the person she's on me with. So why would I be there? 100%, I totally get that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her not being there. I totally understand from his perspective that this would be embarrassing because there's people who are there ready to meet her and everything. I totally get all of that, but I get why she's not going to go. I wouldn't go either. I wouldn't go either unless you disinvite her, which we'll talk about in the next episode. I'm not going. So, yeah, not great. But she is upset with his parents, understandably, because in her mind, she's like, are they doing it on purpose? She's upset with him, which she's upset with him. I can understand her being upset with him for at all making this a reality, putting her in this position. So I do understand that aspect of it. He claims he didn't know she was going to be there, so we'll have to believe him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks. But anyways, we will see how this turns out in the next episode. But let's move on to John and Sprite. So John has a surprise. Go get ready. And Sprite's like, are we going to London? Are we going to Liverpool? Not even close. So yeah, he gets ready, whatever. John tells Sprite, you look handsome. What about me? And he says, you look homeless. You can't give a compliment and then request a compliment back. That's not how this works. Anyway, so we're going for a walk, he says. We got pigs, we got bushes, we're gonna enjoy nature. It's probably like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're going into like this part of the bush where he's like, I'm not going in there. And then we get lost. He's like, I think we should sit here and eat. And he's like, I don't want to sit here. He's like, let's have a picnic. This is the surprise, y'all. The surprise is I made you a picnic and let's eat in the middle of the forest. Sprite does not look like the kind of person who you take out on a picnic in the middle of the forest. I don't think Sprite's the kind of person you take on a picnic. Like, I know his man more than he does. And he's like, me being a chef, food is so important to me. It's so important to me. So here's a ham and cheese sandwich. Are you fucking kidding me? I can do a ham and cheese sandwich. You should be doing gourmet shit. And instead, you're making ham and cheese, boring ass sandwiches. What the fuck? And he's like, I got cake. And he doesn't want to eat the cake. I don't know if he like made the cake or if the cake is store bought. Like, I don't know, but it's really fucking sad. This is a sad ass picnic. Where's the alcohol? Jesus. Anyways, he's like, this is what we'll do when you move here. Does Sprite look like he wants to do this? I don't know. Anyways, we're going to Chinatown in London. Sprite is going to be going back to Thailand soon, so we're, gonna have some fun. And he's loving every minute of this. So they go and they kind of sit down and they're going to eat some food, and John says he wants to get married. He says he's ready. And Sprite's like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to get married yet. There's a lot to think about. Finances. I have to leave my friends, work. I won't be able to work. And John is like, it's like you don't want to marry me. No, he's being realistic. He does have to think about the finances. He does have to think about the fact that he has to leave what he knows behind. His work, he's really good at that. He is going to have to rebuild himself in a new place. And in order to be at the level of what he's currently at, those are things that he has to think about. Getting married because I'm in love with somebody isn't enough. I totally get Sprite. John lives in this whimsical land, and it's just like, but none of that exists, So Sprite then blurts out, I don't think I am coming back. I don't like it where you live. He wants to live in the city. That's what he's used to. I mean, I don't know how far from London he lives, but if he can hop on a train, take half an hour to an hour to get to London, whatever, do that. It's fine. Like, living in London means money. London is not a cheap place to live. I watch House Hunters. It's not cheap. It's very expensive. And if there's not the money to live in a place like London, then you live on the outskirts. You live in the suburbs. That's what you do. It's similar thing here. I think it's similar to anywhere you go. The city is going to be expensive, maybe too expensive, and everyone will live in the suburbs because it's cheaper. But he says, like, it's a lot of pressure. He's crying. And I think he's just afraid about leaving. And I totally get that. But John, at least in this moment, doesn't make it about him, doesn't do any of those things. He just listens and he comforts Sprite. And that is what you're supposed to do. I love it. He's like, it's okay. You don't have to make any decisions yet. And I think that's the best way to go. And anyway, it's Sprite's last day in England. Sorry, not London, England. And he's packing. And we head to the airport. And Sprite says, John first says, I'm going to be alone again. And he's upset, obviously. And Sprite is telling him, I love you. And he's like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to reset. And we'll go from there. I love that. But you kind of think, like, is this it? If we're not seeing John and Sprite again, I think we will see them in the upcoming episode. So that will be great. Because I love Sprite very much. Anyways. So that's basically that for John and Sprite. I think we have one more couple. Yes, Nicole and Taher. Again, not much with them because there never really is a lot with them. But Nicole tells us that in Egyptian culture, right, a man will marry a foreigner. This is typical. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily typical is the right word to use, but if an Egyptian person were to marry a foreigner, doesn't matter where they're from, they will wait a year or so and end up still marrying an Egyptian woman, but in secret. Like, the first wife will never know. Now, I don't know where she's hearing this, because I've never heard this myself. I don't know if this is true. I'm curious if anyone listening has ever heard this before. If you have, sound off, because I would really love to know if this is true. Maybe I'll do a poll. I should start doing polls again. I'll do a poll on Reddit and on Twitter and just kind of be like, is this true? So yeah, like, I'm curious. I've just never heard this before. Obviously an Egyptian person, Egyptian man, has the right to marry four wives. It's not so much an Egyptian thing. It's the religion. The religion allows you to do that. But it's like, I just never heard of that being a thing. But so I'm curious what she's hearing this. But this is what she's saying. Okay. And she's worried that if he's gonna do the same thing, she doesn't want to share. She's not a sharer. Girl, I hear you. I'm not a sharer either. So she talks to him about her concerns. And she asks him, like, is this your intention? Do you intend to marry someone else? And he says, do you think that's what I want to do? Now, he answers a question with a question. That makes me worried. Don't answer a question with a question. Don't push it back onto her to make her come up with the answer. Answer the question. Yes or no. None of this. Do you think I want to? No, I don't like that. But he says to her straight up, don't bring this up again. Okay? You are all I want. And that's that. But wasn't it him earlier on talking about it's an option if he were to marry additional women? Like, it's an option for him? I'm so confused by him. Is it or isn't it? That's all I want to know. I want him to be, like, forthcoming. Anyways, they go out for dinner, and he is going to be headed to England with her very soon. But we find out that the plan, actually the original plan, was that they were going to move to England for a time and then move back to Egypt. So England was meant to be temporary. They were going to go back to Egypt and live in Egypt. But now she seems to be changing shit up and no longer wants to live in Egypt. She's like, I don't really want to. I don't speak Arabic. Egypt is so hot. It's so hot. Like, I don't want, those are not reasons. If you as a couple have made a decision that you're going to go to England and then potentially move back to Egypt in the future, your reasons for not going back, I don't speak the language and it's really hot here, isn't the reasons. You should already know, Egypt is hot. It's fucking Egypt, okay? They are a desert, ma'am. What? Number two, they are primarily a Muslim country, so they are going to speak Arabic. Like, those aren't reasons. And if those are the reasons, well, I don't know to tell you about the heat, but you could learn language if that is the issue. I'm sure it's not an easy language to learn, but you could learn at least enough to communicate with people. Or maybe you need to compromise and live in a more populated part of Egypt where maybe there's potential for there being more English-speaking people. I don't know. Maybe like an expat community. I don't know. But like, those are not reasons for me, personally. And I'm sure they're not reasons for him. But he says to her, he's like, well, when you become Muslim, then you'll learn the language. But she doesn't want to become Muslim. And it kind of throws her. And she's like, I don't know if I want to convert. And she doesn't want to just convert because she's married to him. She wants to understand the language. She wants to be able to be comfortable with the decision of converting from Christianity to Islam. It's not an easy decision. She's like, it's not something I grew up in. It's not what her belief system is. And that has to be respected, right? And she then says something that I actually took offense to. He did not seem to take offense to that particularly. He seemed to have more offense to her saying, I don't want to convert. And her saying that on camera was more offensive to him than what she says here. But to me, what she says here made me uncomfortable. But she says to him, it's not like Islam is bad. I just don't want to convert yet. When you're saying, I'm not saying, I don't think she was being vindictive in this, but I still took offense. When you're saying it's not like it's bad on camera, when Islamic faith has had such a bad rep for, we'll just say generally right now, 20 plus years due to things that have obviously happened in many different countries. Saying something like that, even if it wasn't meant to be vindictive, does not help anything. I think shows like this are really shedding light on what it means to be a Muslim person. Being Muslim isn't being radical, as we've seen from certain people, certain groups. It's this. Just, he loves his faith so much, and he's not the first person who loves his faith so much and just wants to spread that love to other people, including his wife. But he gets really upset. Like I said, he walks away, but he does come back and he does realize, and I think he needed to come to this realization, because you can't force people into converting. I think, just generally speaking, but I think even in their religion, you can't force it upon somebody. They have to want to do it. And he comes back and he says, I realize I can't force you into this. You have to want to do this. So I'm going to be patient and I'll let you hold the reins in terms of converting. So he has to be comfortable with the idea that she might never convert. And that should be okay. Now, how that will work when it comes to them having kids, I don't know. Because he is of the belief that his children should be Muslim, but she might not necessarily believe that. So I guess we'll see how this goes. But religion is, I have dated Muslim people, but I don't know if I would ever married one, only because of the stark differences between our religions. I've even been with people with different belief systems and within Christianity, and that can sometimes pose issues or pose concerns and everything like that. So it's tough when you don't have the same belief system with your partner, and how you navigate that, I don't know. Good luck to you is the best as I can say. But yeah, that's basically it for them. And that's it for this episode. So we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we will hop into the next episode. So let's hop into the next episode. Episode 9, Get Your Stuff and Go. We'll get to that. Charlotte and Johan are first. So 10 weeks ago, we find out that her dad had to go to the hospital and he ended up having pneumonia. But I guess they did some further testing and discovered that he actually had cancer. And within 5 weeks after that, so only 5 weeks before she's telling the story. He died. So within 5 weeks, Jesus, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. She says that she was very close with her dad. He just wanted her to, be happy, get married. After all, he was an expert. He had 3 of them. But she's now kind of planning. I guess seeing her father go through this has made her decide that she doesn't want to wait to get married. The original plan was that they were going to get married next year, but now she doesn't want to wait. She wants to move the wedding up. And she calls him and she tells him that she just wants to get married already. She's done with this. She just wants to do it. And she's like, how about in a couple of months when I'm there? And he's like, sure, why not? That seems like a great response when you're talking about getting married. But that's what they're going to do now. They're going to get married in 2 months when she's there next. So her friend comes by and asks, how was the trip? And she's like, so we're bringing the wedding day forward. And her friend's like, why? And she's like, well, yes, it's, I don't want to wait anymore. But, we aren't trying to get pregnant. And her friend is like, does he want to have kids now? Like, he's only 21. Why are you going to rush? Why wouldn't you wait to just make sure he gets here first? He doesn't have kids now, right? Why? I do have to ask this question. Why is it always the question of colored people, not just necessarily black or whatever, but colored people initially are asked the question, do you have kids yet? Like, do you have kids now? When he's 20 fucking 1. Why is that automatically the question? It's just, anyway, makes you wonder. But yeah, no, he doesn't have any kids. And, she's like, is he ready? And I guess Charlotte is just really frustrated with people constantly asking her the same questions and raining on her parade all the time. That she's just like, I trust him. I know him. I'm doing this. Shut the fuck up, basically. Well, anyway. So we're going to do her Hindu, and which is bachelor red party. So they're going to play a game called Mr. and Mrs. Or basically they're going to ask her questions about Johan and then see if she gets the question correct. Now, I didn't write down all 3 of the questions, but we're going to have a theme here with some of the answers. The one question was, what's his favorite food, which is pretty straightforward. She does get that right, which was basically rice and peas and chicken. Great. And then the second question was like, what do you think he likes about you or loves about you? What do you think his favorite body part of yours is, and that kind of thing? And he gives these generic ass just answers where he's like, I love everything about her. I love every part of her body, or whatever the fuck. Because there's these generic ass answers. And us, the viewer, plus her friends, are like, well, he sure knows what to say. He keeps saying the right thing. And it's just these generic fucking answers that if I heard them, I'd be like, no, I want like an actual fucking answer, not these generic ass answers. But Charlotte is like, he knows me. I love his answers. They're so sweet. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you can't strive for better than this? Like, it's actually really sad. But her friends are just kind of at this point is asking like all of the questions that she doesn't want to answer. Are you going to do a prenup? Whatever it is. Like, and she's like, no. What is the point of having things if you can't share? You can share things all you want during your marriage, honey bunny. But when the marriage doesn't work out and he's asking for half because he'll be able to, you're not going to want to share then. You know what I mean? But you know what? Let her sink or swim. This isn't friends. This isn't your life. This is hers. And if she wants to fuck her life up, potentially, let her. This is not gonna off her back. But anyway, she's like, he's got my heart and I got the D. So you don't have his heart. I'm just saying. Yeah, in a great world, yes. You know, my man has my heart and I have his dick too. It's great. And his heart. But I just don't get these two. I want to believe it. I do. But I don't believe it. Not really. Anyway. Let's move on to Louise and Jose. Not a lot here, but it doesn't matter. So we got a new track called, I think it's called Real Story. I think I got that right. And apparently he sings it like all the time, everywhere, to the point where he's annoying everybody. And we see him doing it. It's like everywhere. He's getting his hair done. He's singing the song. He's cleaning. He's singing the song. He's with the baby. He's singing the song. Like he's singing the song like everywhere. So we're gonna start planning to do this music video, and he wants to have a limo. He wants Louise obviously in the song because the song's supposed to be about his journey from when he met Louise until now. And obviously he wants Raul in the video because Louise is going to be in the music video. Maybe then we're going to need someone to film it. Maybe Jesse can film it. Oh my God. So Jose goes to talk to Jesse and asks Jesse, I need your help. Can you film a music video for me? And he's like, well, I guess I'm the last resort because he usually doesn't ask me to do things like this. But he's like, sure, I guess. Whatever. He's like, I have this song. Let me play the song for you. And Jesse's like, no, I've heard it. I've heard it. I don't need to. But he still plays it anyway. And he's like, oh my God. Like he's over it. And Jose, sweet baby Jose, is like, I think he likes the song. So yeah, now we're doing the music video. Like, what the fuck is happening? Because she's like, it was an interesting experience. She's dancing up on him in front of her son. And Jesse's like, the fuck is going on? And it's a lot. We're dancing in front of a limo, which I don't understand why we have a limo. And what does that have to do with the song? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it. But then we had to like do the dancing again. And Jesse's like, don't make me do that again. But they get through, they get it done, and it's done. It's great. I guess we'll see the end product eventually. But it was too much. But anyways, that's basically it for Louise and Jose. Again, it wasn't a lot. And then we have, I think Tony and Nui are the last. Are they the last? Oh no, we also have Jamie and Kathleen. So Tony and Nui. So we're gonna go meeting his friends. She's like, don't drink too much. She doesn't want him to be drunk. But we go to meet his friends. The friends think she is too good for him, so they clearly like her. But it looks like he's drunk anyways. Like at one point, he's like talking to her, and he's just being maybe a little too much for her. And clearly, he overdrank. Then we find out, I guess, the next day that they got into a fight and ended up having to stay in a hotel. And she just kind of wants to go home, but she went over to talk to him. And y'all, this was fucking degrading. I can't remember if we find out the reason why they were fighting, if I just didn't give a shit. But whatever the reason is, she does go back. And this part was degrading, like I said. He opens the door. He says hello to her. She doesn't say hi to him. And I think goes right into, we need to talk. And he's like, no. You didn't even say hi to me. You're not going to disrespect me like that. We're going to do it again. Makes her go back out fucking side to redo this whole thing all over again. So she literally has to go through the motions of knocking on the door again and saying hello, treating her like a fucking child. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have gone back. If he made me go back outside, the reason he can do that is because you allow him to. If you're allowing him to do shit like that, he's gonna do it. If you put your foot down and say, fuck you, he ain't gonna do it. But I think that's easier said than done because I think he is probably a controlling person. If that were me and he made me have to do that all over again, I wouldn't be doing it again. I walked away. I would have demanded a ticket home. And I would have demanded a ticket home. I'm out. Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck do you think you are? It's so fucking degrading. Oh God. I hated that for her. And they're arguing. And he's like, if we're just gonna be arguing, you should just leave now. He's like, I want to have this combo on camera. Whatever the conversation was. Like, it didn't seem like a big deal, but he's gonna have the conversation on camera. So he tells her to get your stuff and leave, title of the episode. And it's just, he's an asshole. He's probably a narcissist. And she can do better. You don't have to put up with this shit from him? No way. But that's Tony and Nui. Fucking depressing for the most part. Most of their segments are pretty fucking depressing, honestly. But now let's do Kathleen and Jamie, and this is the last couple. So she's like, I'm so disappointed. He says, I'm so disappointed Kathleen won't be at the party. And I think he went to like a different hotel or something. I don't know. But now she's like hounding him or texts, which is like, listen, you're playing this all wrong, honey. Here's what I'm gonna say. I understand her not going, but you're playing this all fucking wrong. If you want to know shit and you want to make sure shit ain't gonna go astray, you fucking be there. You're clearly insecure about the whole thing. You fucking show up and you flaunt your relationship in this bitch's face. That's what you do. Because we're supposed to be friends at one point, right? They were friends and then she overstepped. So you flaunt your relationship in this person's face and you call it a day. The fact that you're not there shows there's cracks in the relationship that this girl, if she wanted to, could just wiggle her way through. You know what I mean? Like, and then you don't get to hound him over text and ruin the experience for him to have this party with his family. It's not about her. To have the party with family. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Sorry. You just don't. Don't let me side with him. I'm not really siding with him, but you don't really get to do that. And so, yeah, he says it's a lot. So he videos the hotel room to show her, look, she's not here. She's not in this drawer. She's not in the bed. She's not in this cupboard. She's not in the bathroom. She's not in this fridge. Are you in there, Tess? She's not there. She's not outside. She's not here. And I'm just like, but why do you have to do that? Listen, if you don't trust him, don't be with him. If you're willing to be with him and get past it, you need to learn how to fucking trust him. And to learn how to fucking trust him isn't hounding him 24/7, asking for proof of shit. You're never going to get there. You're just never going to get there. So it's ridiculous. But anyways, so later on in the day, it's kind of the party time now, and he does say hi to Tess, but that's basically it. He takes pics with his parents. You know, he's posting pics, thinking that he's doing a good thing here, kind of showing her, knowing she's probably going to monitor the social media, saying, look, this is what it is. The party is fun. I'm not really paying attention to her. We're having fun. That's it, right? He's being completely innocent in his reasons for doing what he's doing. But that's not going to be enough because the party is over and he is seeing Kathleen, but she is upset because of the photos that he posted. And she's like, I can't trust you. And he's like, I didn't know. She's like, I didn't know what you did. And the reason why she's being like this is because the pictures that he posted on social media included her in the pictures. So she's thinking that something happened. And it's like, ma'am, if something happened and he knows she's in the pictures, he wanted to post them. Use your common sense. And if the sense ain't common, then I don't know what to tell you. Because common sense would say if he's doing shit, he ain't gonna post it. He's gonna hide it. That's what men do. Sometimes men will flaunt it in your face a little bit, but ultimately they're gonna hide it. So it's just like, they'll flaunt it if they don't care if you know. I've seen that happen as well. Not to me, but I've seen that happen. And it's because he doesn't care at that point anymore. He wants to break up at that point, and he's just too pussy to do it. But a man who's trying to hide it, who doesn't want this relationship to end, is going to hide it. He didn't hide anything. He posted the pictures. Like, honestly, Jamie bothers me, but Kathleen annoys me. Kathleen annoys me. You don't get to play victim for every little thing when you're not a victim. He didn't fucking cheat on you. You were on a break. Okay? And with that, it means he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't get to play this victim card all the fucking time. She's annoying as fuck. Sorry. Maybe that's a different opinion than others, but she fucking bothers the fuck out of me. So, there's that. Anyway, that's basically it for this episode. Well, episode 9 of UK. And that is the end of our episode. Again, thank you for being patient. I think the next one that you guys can expect, just for the ease of it, is going to be MILF Manor. And then we will get into other episodes. But that is that for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2@hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Nicole, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks